Hey guys, how's it going? It's Shinobi here, and I'm on my Rogue. I pretty much stayed up all night because of the new patch that just came out, patch 5.0.4. If you don't know everything that's in it, I'll put a link in the description down below or in an annotation sending you to what to expect from that. You can also look up the patch notes if you wanted to as well. But in this video, we're talking about Rogue. I worked on Warrior already. That video was out yesterday. It'll be an annotation on the screen. I worked on Warrior, looked at some cool things on it, got a lot of tips for you in that video, so you can check that out if that's something you want to see as well. In this particular video, we're talking about kind of a balanced PvE/PvP spec that you can use while leveling up, maybe doing dungeons, maybe doing some BGs on your way to level 90. And this is pretty much the best thing that I've come up with, and I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why I feel this way. Before I get into that, though, I had a little bit of update news. First off, I was talking to this guy Evan over here. You can see him talking to me in chat. He got a spectral tiger and he's gonna hook me up with it, and then that just blows me away that a viewer would do that for me. And to thank him, Chuck and I decided we're going to level up through dungeons from 85 to 90, maybe do a little bit of PvP, who knows, we'll see. But as far as staying away from quests, we're going to stay away from quests because Darksphere is the second most populated server in the world, and with Darksphere also, Alliance is super populated as well. People are going to be stealing your mobs' requests. The first couple levels are going to be rough, so probably the first couple levels we're going to do dungeons, and then once we're really well geared through those dungeons, we're going to be doing AoE pulls. It's going to be massive. And Evan here, the guy that said that he's going to give me the Spectral Tiger, he's a really good healer. So right now we have a DPS, a tank, and a healer, and all we need is 2 more DPS. So maybe looking for like a Boomkin and another high DPS class. If you're interested, I'm going to put my battle tag down below. In the description, when you send me a friend request, you need to let me know what your character's like, your experience in the game, and how dedicated you're going to be. Because we're literally going to go from 85 to 90 in one sleep period, taking a lot of gun-ho and a lot of that stuff. But that's all of that. Let's get into the Rogue stuff now. I wanted to make that update because I don't want to put it like just an update video and just talk about that. But I got a lot of good treats for you in this video though. So let's take a look first where we are. Now, I've chosen combat. Now, subtlety is not quite as good right now. I know Blizzard's done that on purpose. They don't want subtlety to be like the main spec like it used to be. Combat was really good for PvE in Cataclysm. It's still going to be good in PvE. Also, people out there that do have the legendaries still, that's still a factor as well. When you're first leveling up, you're going to have those legendaries, and they're still going to be really nice weapons while leveling up, and those legendaries do benefit towards Sinister Strike, which is used in combat. So definitely really awesome. When you automatically click combat, you're going to learn all the abilities that combat has in the specialization, and as you're leveling up too, any new abilities you get, you're also going to learn automatically. You don't have to go to a trainer or anything like that. So first, now let's go into pretty much the way that I built this around. Is I built this spec around, before I even did the spec, I said what are the best talents and what are the best glyphs, and then I'm going to work that into the spec and see which ones kind of go together really nicely. This is what I've come up with. Now we're on to the talents. Now the talents here, the first 3 we have to choose from up top are Night Stalker, Sutterfudge, I think that word is, and Shadow Focus. Now with Night Stalker, it's a passive ability to increase your movement speed while stealth by 20% and the damage your abilities deal while stealth by 25%. So it's a nice burst damage thing when you just come out of your opener. Not bad. Let's look on. Then we have your stealth breaks 3 seconds after dealing or receiving hostile actions rather than doing so immediately. So it pretty much means you can do another ambush or possibly another cheap shot, but your cheap shot wouldn't be over in those 3 seconds, so doing 2 wouldn't make sense, and doing 2 Garrets wouldn't make sense either, so it's pretty much for 2 ambushes. Ambush does cost 60 energy, so when you do come out, you can do 2 ambushes, but then you're going to have like no energy left when you do come out of stealth, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Shadow Focus is by far the winner here. Abilities no longer cost energy while you're stealth, makes you have, you can do that ambush, you can do that Garret, you can do that Sep, you can do a bunch of stuff when you do come out of stealth and when you do open on them, and it's just going to be so awesome to do that. That's just a no-brainer in my opinion. What do you guys think? Combat readiness has been something that's just been so huge for so long, and I still think it's really the winner here. As far as PvP and PvE goes, you know, when you're leveling up and you're doing, maybe you aggro too many mobs or something like that, this spec is built around killing 3 or 4 mobs at the same time too, so having more mobs on you, combat readiness just makes sense. And then Strike Nerve, I like this. Your successful kidney shot and cheap shots also reduce the damage dealt by the target by 50% for 6 seconds after the effect fades. Now this is good, but the whole thing with combat is it's a huge, massive burst spec. So you really don't care how much damage he does. It's all based on how much damage you do. So combat readiness is one of those nice things that, okay, my burst failed. You have a second chance with combat readiness to not take a bunch of damage. Strike Nerve, I don't feel it does enough, because sometimes you want to be finishing him off with an Eviscerate instead of, you know, having to kidney shot to reduce that damage. So combat readiness just seems the best there. Then we have Cheat Death, Leeching Poison, and Elusiveness. Now we do use Adrenaline Rush here, which is going to increase your ability to pretty much attack quickly and use a lot of abilities really quickly. So Leeching Poison is a poison that you could possibly stack on them a bunch of times. And what it does is you have a 50% chance to heal yourself for 10% of the damage dealt to the person. So that's, I mean, that is definitely decent. I mean, the heal isn't that amazing. I mean, right now on a target dummy, I pretty much do like 50, 60, 70k eviscerates. So you got to think 10% of that is not too amazing, considering, you know, the way the health scales and everything while leveling up. I don't think it's going to be too amazing for leveling up. More of a like dueling situation. Like I could see it being really good in duels, like 1 versus 1, definitely for survival, and maybe some comps in 2s and 3s. But as far as like before endgame, I don't think it's going to be that great. Cheat Death is also another thing that just helps with that survival, especially when you're pulling 3-4 mobs at a time and you're AoEing down a whole bunch. Cheat Death's going to give you a second chance, just like combat readiness does. So I like that. And then Elusiveness, your feint ability also reduces damage taken by 30%. I think this would be really nice if it's coupled with like Nerve Strike, because then you would take 80% less damage when you use a feint and after you've done a kidney shot or a cheap shot. That could be something good you could do. But yep, definitely something there. Now we have the thing that's got all rogues pissed off to no end. You have to choose between Shadow Step and Preparation. The reason, I don't know why. Oh, Swifty just came online. I don't know why Shadow Step is not just something that rogues automatically know, or Preparation's not something rogues that automatically know. The fact that we have to choose between these two, like put Shadow Step somewhere else up here, or put Prep somewhere else, but to put them together just pisses me off, and pisses a lot of rogues off. I heard that Mercator wasn't too happy about the changes to rogues, but yeah, maybe he was just trolling though. Anyway, Shadow Step, it doesn't increase the damage when you appear on them now when you do a Shadow Step, so all it does is the movement speed afterwards and you step right onto them. Definitely great for mobility. I mean, definitely huge, definitely better than Burst of Speed in my opinion. I mean, it's 60 energy. I mean, this does get you out of movement impairing effects, but I mean, so does a lot of stuff that rogues have, so I don't see Burst of Speed being that good. Preparation, this is the obvious winner here. It's gotta be. Preparation's been one of the biggest abilities for rogues since day one, since it came out. I remember when it first came out a long time ago, when they first redid Subtlety. It was ridiculous. And yeah, so this is just awesome. I mean, think about it. You reset your cooldown on Sprint, Vanish, Cloak of Shadows, Evasion, and Dismantle. Now, I don't know if that's exactly the way it was in Cataclysm, but I mean, those are very primary abilities and definitely huge. I wish that Smoke Bomb was included in there, and I don't think there's any glyphs for that. However, it's still really good. I mean, even if you think you get a 70% speed bonus here, okay, well you get 2 sprints, so that kind of makes more sense. 2 dismantles, really nice. 2 vanishes, 2 cloak of shadows. I mean, how many times have you had dots on you, and you're just like, man, I wish I could cloak right now. It's just awesome. 5-minute cooldown, well, that's how it goes. I think, was it 3 minutes in Cataclysm? I don't remember, but still, I think it's still the best. Moving on to the bottom 3 here, we have Prey on the Weak, Paralytic Poison, and Dirty Tricks. Now, these two are really nice. I like them both. Prey on the Weak is when you disable an enemy with Kidney Shot, Cheap Shot, Gouge, Sap, Blind. They suffer 10% increased damage. Now the Sap, that's pretty interesting. You could hit them with a Sap, and then when you open on them, they get 10% more damage done to them. That's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty nice ability overall, but I think Paralytic Poison is going to be the winner here. And there's a couple reasons why this is going to be the winner. If you don't know what it does, each strike has a 20% chance of poisoning the enemy for 15 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times, and on the 5th time you stun the enemy for 4 seconds. That's pretty nice. But when you have something like Killing Spree, I'm going to show you a demonstration down here. Let's go down, I'm going to show you a demonstration. You have Killing Spree, you have Blade Flurry, you have Adrenaline Rush. These things are going to increase your chance to increase those poisons. Now, let's say I don't have all my stuff set up, so I'm just kind of like having a hard time here. So we come in, and say we open, whatever, now we hit, we get the poisons up here, now you hit it, boom, jumping around all these mobs here. There you go, you got one over here, one over here, well you got one here. So, I mean, that's definitely nice. Then you have the Blade Flurry as well. Let's see if I can, because these ones aren't too close to each other, so it's hard to get the Blade Fury. There we go. So it's going over here as well too. So I mean, you have options there, and it's definitely nice, and especially with Adrenaline Rush, when you open up on the target, just say we're bursting some damage or something like that. Adrenaline Rush, and you're attacking really quickly. You got a slice and dice going on there, and you just keep going, and you just keep getting those stacks. I mean, I went to 4, I already got the stun off, which is great. And you can time that with your kidney shots, so you can just kind of stun them out. And by the time he comes out of the kidney shot, boom, the 5th one he just got stunned again. So that looks like it's going to be really nice, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second here. So let's go back up top so we can get out of all this loud noises and people and such. Let's head over to some of the glyphs. This is where the spec gets complete. Now we go into the glyphs. Now the glyphs, I'm not happy with the glyphs that Rogue's got. I mean, they have some pretty bad glyphs, and these are literally the best ones you can pretty much get. There are some questionable ones, but let's take a look. So let's do this, because this is going to be better. There we go, I can move it over here. Now, we have Adrenaline Rush. Now this is nice. I don't think this was like this before. I didn't really mess around with combat too much as a rogue in Cataclysm, but your Adrenaline Rush ability reduces the global cooldown of your Sinister Strike, Revealing Strike, Eviscerate, Rupture, Slice and Dice by 2 seconds. So you may not think that makes much of a difference, but if you Sinister Strike 5 times, that's another second. That's a free global cooldown on a Sinister Strike, and you're gonna do it a lot. So I think that's really nice considering the choices in here. You can look over some of the choices. I'm not gonna read all of them to you, but I mean, some of the choices in here are just not very good at all. Then we have this one. Now this is interesting. Glyph of Blade Flurry. Your attacks have a 30% higher chance of applying non-lethal poisons while Blade Fury is active. So that's awesome, because you look over here, 20% chance, 26% chance, I think it says there. So now 30% more of a chance. That's pretty awesome. So definitely something to think about there. Then we go over to Smoke Bomb. Now this is nice too. Increases the duration of Smoke Bomb by 2 seconds. I think that's going to be a big factor as well, because you have Adrenaline Rush and Smoke Bomb. Say you're in arena 2s or 3s, you open up on a guy, you hit a Smoke Bomb, it's going to last 2 seconds longer, because normally the Smoke Bomb, I don't even have it on my bars here, so I still need to work all this around, but yeah, so normally Smoke Bomb is like it's 5 seconds, I think, so now it's 7 seconds, and then you have Adrenaline Rush pumping, you're stunning them like crazy, which is just really awesome. And also with this Paralytic Poison, your Shiv ability right here will actually instantly root them for seconds, which is huge. I mean, if you get him inside of a Smoke Bomb, he's not getting out with this spec, and he's going to get burst a lot of damage really quickly. So that's why I like this spec, and it's good for PvE as well. I could see it being used in endgame, maybe if you tweak the spec a little bit, but I think that combat's still going to be the dominant force in endgame. Assassination's good. I have a pretty nice spec for that, so if you want to see that in an upcoming video, just let me know. And make sure you check out the Warrior video, hit like and subscribe, and share all this on Facebook with your friends. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.